Okay. That's okay. Are you guys gonna be along? Start moving out.
Are you guys gonna be on?
Yeah, we have I'm doing a quick meeting. It'll take 15 minutes, if that's okay.
Okay, let me just drop off this.
Okay, thank you. Do you mind waiting till I'm outside? Thank you. So, I wanted to go over your growth first of all. When I was checking the ECP doc where we have all your guys' test scores, I noticed that in 1 year, Karen, this year, you went from 340 something on the SRI to over 474, which is over 140 points in half a school year. That means that you grew 2 years worth of reading in half a school year. That's crazy impressive. So if you do the same thing between the winter and the end of the school year, that means that you will have jumped 4 grades in your reading level. That is really, you're one of the highest in the school right now as far as how much you've grown, which is really awesome. So I'm really proud of you for that. Did you realize you grew that much?
No.
You didn't? How do you feel about that? Good. I hope you do. I mean, it's really, really impressive. Literally, there are only a handful of other students that have made that kind of leap. So why we're here is I noticed a couple of things in your spelling and in your writing, and I wanted to know if you noticed them as well, and I wanted to help just clean it up. You've come such a long way, and I've shared some of your writing with Miss Griffin, who you worked with last year in Rise Up, and she was like, oh my gosh, Karen's writing is so good. Look at her use of evidence, and look at how clear she is, and how her spelling is improved. It's really clear to your teachers how much you're working, and it's paying off. So there's a couple of things that I was hoping I could help you clean up before you get to high school, so that you feel even that much more confident going in. I want to share with you some of your writing and see if you notice anything. It doesn't happen all the time, but I notice sometimes when you are writing words that the end of the word, here with paragraph, do you notice something that you did there?
Yeah.
The H. Do you notice yourself doing that with words sometimes, forgetting the last letter or two?
Yeah.
Yeah? I've noticed also, it doesn't happen all the time at all. And most of the things you're misspelling are actually things that even adults misspell, like Berkeley. I know a lot of people who misspell Berkeley. It's a confusing word. But I've noticed that other times that you forget the last letter, unimpressed, right? There should be a D there. They're just one letter usually that I'm noticing you're leaving off. Another one is sometimes when you have silent E's. Give an example of that. So here, the store usually has an E at the end, right? That's a strange thing about English with the silent letters, and there's some words that have that pattern. When you're reading, do you ever notice that you maybe don't read the last part of the word, that you kind of go fast?
Yeah.
Yeah? And do you notice it in your writing, you said also? Okay. So there are some spelling patterns that I was hoping to go over with you that might help you to just clean up that stuff a little bit so that you will no longer make those little mistakes. Because I think you are so, literally, it's hard for me to find a lot of mistakes in what you're doing because it's really clear. And as I'm looking back, it's not only are your sentences clear, but it's clear you understand what you're being asked and you know the answer. So it's just a couple little things. Does that sound good? We should try to clean that up a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that's particularly hard or anything that you've noticed that you want to work on?
I don't know.
You can't think of anything? Okay. So my plan for us is to maybe just meet 6 times over the next 2 weeks, so that we can clean up one-on-one some of the spelling and word endings. And it'll help not just your reading, reading out loud, because you'll pay more attention to those ends of the words, but also spelling. Okay. So I want to do a really quick assessment before we start so that we can see where you're at now with a set of words, and then we can see at the end if there was growth. Does that sound good? Okay. So what I'm going to do is, it's a little bit of like a spelling test and a sort. So I'm going to be reading off a list of words to you, and there's these different categories, and you have to decide in your head which category it's going to go in, and then you have to write down the word. It's a little bit of a game. So one category is hard C or G. Hard C or G, and you might not know what that is yet, and that's okay. You don't have to make a guess about that. And then the opposite of hard C or hard G is soft C or soft G. And then words that end in CE, words that end in SE, words that end in VE, and words that end in ZE. So we're gonna do this now, and you don't have any really practice in this per se, other than what you already know. So however you do on it, we're just putting that aside, and then after we practice, like for 3 days, we're gonna have you try again, and I bet you will get like a huge improvement. All right? Okay. Is that a pen or pencil? I'm gonna have you use that just in case you want to make any changes. Okay. So the first word, and before you write it down, like listen to the word and think about which category you want to put it in. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. The first word is 12, like the number but spelled out. 12.
So you put it here?
So you're going to think, should it go under hard C or G, soft C or G, ends in CE, ends in SE, Z, ZE, or VE. So 12. Okay, the next word is freeze. Like I need to freeze the popsicles. Freeze. And then loose, like my shoelaces are loose. Cool. And then, okay, the next one is calf, like a baby cow. Calf. So now you're maybe choosing between hard C or soft C. So you can make a guess on that. Calf. Please. Please, will you help me in the morning, please? City. Oakland is a wonderful city.
Like, does it go here?
So since it probably doesn't seem to probably end in any of those, you might have to decide if it's a hard C or a soft C. City. Okay. Guess. I'm going to guess on the test. Guess. Doing great. This is just the pre-assessment so we can figure out where we go from here. Guess. All right. Ready for the next one? Okay. Leave. I'm going to leave school at 2:30. Leave. Number 8, giant. Giant. This tall man looked like a giant. Next one is peace. I want world peace. That word actually has two meanings sometimes. It can mean peace, like peace and quiet. It can also mean like peace, like a piece of cake, piece of pie. In this case, it means peace and quiet. All right, number 11, seize. I'm going to seize that pencil from you and put it in my desk. Seize. That also could have two meanings. It could be like he sees the cat from across the room, or he seizes the item and keeps it for himself. Number 12, card. I'm going to play a game. I'm going to need all of the cards. Card. Number 13, cheese. I like lots of cheese on my pizza. And then 14, glove.
What?
Glove, like I'm wearing a glove because it's cold outside. And then dance. I like to salsa dance. And then 16, choose. I want to choose my seat. And 17, gym. I'm going to go to the gym to do exercises. Gym. So remember, it could be in the first two for the C's or G's. And then fence. I'm going to jump over the fence. And you can add, if there's not enough lines in the box and you want to add to it, you can do that. We have two more, almost done. And then number 19 is gave. I gave him a gift for his birthday. That's okay. We're not going to be too much longer. Yeah. That works for me, thank you. And then number 20 is prove. Prove your point by using evidence. Great. Okay. So, awesome. Good try. This was kind of confusing. It's like you had to do two things at once, like spell and sort. So, good try. Way to try. What we're going to work on with this is hard C and soft C. So it's really hard to do because you didn't have really a preview of what that is. And the reason that we're going to be working on these things is because I noticed, remember when we did the spelling assessment at the beginning of Rise Up? I noticed that it was around words similar to this that sometimes your spelling got a little funny. So you know the words, but it's about learning the patterns and for these specific types of words. So a hard C and a hard G versus soft C and soft G. We have two words like and and let me just do my other example. So how do you say that word?
Okay.
Good. And how do you say that word?
Giant.
Good. So if we break it down, gave, how do you say that sound? I know it's silly, right? How do you say the sound?
Good.
Good. And then if you break this word down, how do you say that sound?
Good.
J. So G and J, right? There's a difference. G is called hard G. And J is a soft G. G, J. So we're looking at that because that helps us to spell things, because there are rules that go with this. So one thing is that when you have a soft G, like giant, there are certain letters that always follow it. And when you have a hard G, there are certain letters that always follow that. We're going to learn more about that next time. Let me do a quick difference for the C as well. Okay, how do you say that word?
Cat.
And how do you say that word?
Sitting.
So how do you say that sound?
Cook.
And how do you say that sound? So,
Yeah.
right? So this is hard C, K, and a soft C, S. This is a harder sound, softer sound. So we're going to be learning next time about the difference between the two, the rules of when it's a hard sound and when it's a soft sound, and how you can learn some hints and how to spell it. We're also going to learn some hints about how to spell things that have these E's at the end, and how you know the difference of when it's a C and when it's an S. Okay? So in the meantime, I'm going to kind of do a little grading of this. And then we're going to, these should look familiar, right? We did these card sorts in Rise Up. So we're going to do some of these again. But focusing on different skills this time, just to clean up the spelling. That way you'll always be paying attention to the ends of your words, and all of these types of endings you'll always be spelling right. Sound good? Okay, cool. This is for you. It's just some of the things that I'm really proud of you for in like a little letter. You can read it and then rip it up and throw it away. You can hide it and you don't have to show anybody. You can show people whatever you want. But I just wanted to tell you some of the things that I admire about you. So that's what that is. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your time. And on Monday during advisory, is it okay if I pull you again for a little bit of time? Okay, perfect. We'll just do this like 6 times. We're going to do some sorts and make some improvements. And it's going to be quick, easy, and you're going to see immediate changes. It's going to be awesome. For a reward for your extra time and energy that you're putting into yourself as a student, think about what you would like as a reward. Because if you're putting in the energy here, I want you not only to get the reward of spelling better and feeling more confident, but I'd also like for you to get something else. So think about what that might be. Okay. Do you want me to write you a note to class, or do you think you're good?
Good.
Okay. Thank you, Karen.